Good evening, this is Ben Chideiro.
And this is Ray Ferrer.
And you're on
Point
Blank. Good afternoon once again. We bring you the second edition of our show, Point Blank, right here on the Northern FORUM-CAGAYAN Valley FB page. And our guest for tonight is a Bachelor of Science in Communications degree holder from the University of Baguio and was a past Regional Information Officer of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and now presently the officer in charge of, well, the prestigious, whether you like it or not, prestigious agency of the government, the spokesperson of the government, the Philippine Information Agency Region 2 or Cagayan Valley Region. Welcome to the show and good evening.
Yes, thank you, Sir Ray and Sir Benji for inviting us again here, but at this time at the Point Blank. Last time po kasi is at the FORUM-CAGAYAN. So again, thank you for giving us opportunities to explain and inform the public on the PIA's mandate. So actually, Sir Benji, the explain and the inform are the taglines of our agency, the PIA.
Okay. Anyway, we will be discussing a lot, and as the title of the show goes, this is Point Blank, and we will be, brace yourself, we will be asking so many questions. Sometimes you fail to ask the Philippine Information Agency, and this is in relation with the flow of communication, how communication is handled by a government agency, and how the agency at this point in time, the COVID, the pandemic, deals with information in relation to what information they get, in particular the Department of Health. It's rather a very ticklish issue, the flow of communications, and whether or not these informations are really for the benefit of our people or not. Then this is one of the issues we have to tackle. But before that, baka naman hindi natin naintindihan kung ano ba talaga yung mandate paulit-ulit ng PIA, kasi sometimes we have to understand kung ano ba ang mga pinagdadaanan ng isang agency. Madam Angely, ano pa talagang mandate ninyo?
Okay, first and foremost, sir, PIA is an attached agency or unit of the PCOO. This is the former Office of the Press Secretary, the PCOO, or the Presidential Communications Operations Office, headed by, of course, our dynamic secretary, Secretary Martin Andanar. Okay. So, as one of the units of the PCOO, our main mandate is to provide assistance to all the branch of government. Remember, sir, PIA is labeled as the chief information arm of the government. So when we say,
I like that, the chief.
Yes, or the lead information arm of the government. So when we say we are the chief information arm, we are then obliged to help all those, of course, the PCOO, the Office of the President, the legislative, the judiciary, and other sectors in the promotion of their programs and services. So, wala kami talagang, if the DSWD serves as helping from womb to tomb, well, for PIA, we serve from the presidential office down to the grassroots. So, ganun po kalawak yung saklaw ng PIA when it comes to information dissemination.
Now, with that explanation, therefore, we should underscore the fact that the role of the Philippine Information Agency in propelling the news and providing the general public with the relevant, accessible, and accurate information, because the people rightly deserve to know all these things. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Tama po kayo dyan. Our primary mandate is always provide timely, accurate, and information to the public. And how do we get this information? Of course, through the press releases, news releases, na binibigay sa atin ng ating mga partner agencies from the regional from the national government units or agencies, I mean NGAs, the LGUs, pati din po private sector, we also cater to them. So imaginein natin, nasa gitna lagi ang PIA. Kami yung repository of information, and then as repository of information, we have the mandate to disseminate all this to our target audiences. Nasabi natin kanina, one of our partners in this is the media sector. So, nasa gitna lagi ang PIA. And when it comes naman po sa communication planning, kung halimbawa, let's say DSWD na lang kasi half of my
your life,
half of my life, doon ako na mold, DSWD. Kung kailangan ng DSWD ng technical assistance when it comes to their communication planning, information dissemination, of course, ang unang-una nilang i-partner dyan ay PIA. Wala na pong iba. So, yan po yung mandato ng PIA. We provide technical assistance to all from the office. When it comes naman po sa Office of the President, of course, hindi kami yung sa technical assistance. Kami yung pinaka frontliner when it comes to presidential visit. Kasi kapag may presidential visit, sino ba ang point agency na lalapitan ng Office of the President? Kundi PIA. So, kami yung galamay nila sa baba. Gayon din po ang PCOO kapag may mga visits, kami din ang galamay nila sa baba. But hindi naman po ibig sabihin na doon lang limited yung aming functions, yung pagiging errand girl or boy. Of course po, nandun pa rin yung events management, yung information dissemination. We also do inviting media. Yun din po ang pinaka main role namin, to invite media, and of course sometimes kami yung nagfa-facilitate ng press briefing, mga ganyan.
So, Ma'am Angely, talagang we can decipher in here the crucial role of PIA in the success of all the programs, plans of actions of government. So, with this situation that we have right now, well, of course, we are mindful of the fact that there is tri-media. And right now, social media is very powerful. How do you manage all these things, considering that, well, when you say in the government, it appears that insofar as funding is concerned, there might be some lapses insofar as the provision of the necessary equipment, the utilization of high technological advancement that we have right now. So, how is PIA managing all these concerns?
Yes.
Okay. Before I answer that, Sir Reyno, I just want to correct you kanina na we are not the primary actors sa success ng implementation ng program. Of course po, we are just part. We are just part of the success of their communication activities. We should not forget po na every agency meron din pong social marketing unit or information unit. Just like sa PhilHealth, meron din po silang mga information officers or government communicators. So, with that po, we partnered para magiging successful yung dissemination or yung execution ng kanilang mga communication activities. So, with that po, we are just part of their success. And when it comes naman to the upgrading of equipment of PIA, sir, we are so lucky dahil napaka-supportive ng aming central office to support us when it comes to the upgrading of the equipment, communication gadgets, kasi we are also at par with the media, with the private media. Kung makabisita po kayo sa PIA, Sir Ray, I hope someday makapunta kayo. Sir Benji, lagi niyang nakikita. PIA Region 2 is one of the early users of Green Tech. Alam niyo po yan, Sir Benji. 2019 pa lang, from regular na face-to-face, we shifted to the use of green technology. So, isa yan sa pinagmamalaki natin. And one more thing is, kapag may mga bagong software, may mga bagong gadget na kailangan to improve our communication sharing system, meron naman po tayong enough resources. Yun nga lang, due to this pandemic last year, medyo hindi tayo nagkaroon ng capital outlay, Sir Ray, but 2019 and early part of 2020, nakabili tayo ng mga enough equipment and nag-upgrade din tayo ng ating studio.
Okay.
Of course, to improve our communication delivery.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Before going further, I would like to know from Angely herself the situation before the COVID, because it's a very, very different situation now as far as information dissemination or management of communication is concerned, as far as the PIA is concerned dito sa Region 2. So, ano yung parang pagkakaiba na before March last year? It's just the normal thing for us to do for PIA. And then, ito na nga. So, we can differentiate the before, yung at present, no, pandemic, and if ever, halimbawa lang na medyo bababa lang ng konti, how will you see the communications after the pandemic?
Okay.
So, paano yung before?
Let's begin with the before.
Yes, before.
Prior to the pandemic po, ang PIA ay nakikita sa community level.
Okay.
We are so active sa community engagement because tayo din po ang lead agency kasi sa strategic communications on the RTF-LCAC or yung End Local Communist Armed Conflict.
Okay.
So, with that RTF-LCAC po, kailangan ang PIA bababa sa community, especially doon sa mga cleared area. I mean sir, yung sa mga cleared NPA areas. So, kailangan nating nandoon. And of course po, aside from that, marami din tayong mga commitments, like yun sa mga pulong-pulong sa barangay to promote the programs or the various programs of the government. But nung pagputok ng March, lahat po niyan temporarily on hold. Lahat ng ating mga face-to-face or interpersonal activities naging online lahat. So, of course po, medyo kailangan mag-isip tayo ng ways and means how to deliver our mandate pa rin. Kasi ayaw naman natin na we just stayed at the office and wait for the press releases or news from other agencies para i-disseminate. We have to find ways. So yun na nga po, isa sa mga strategies natin para pa rin ma-deliver natin yung ating mga mandate ay nagkaroon tayo ng mga online programs, nagkaroon tayo ng live streaming, sir, wherein we invited heads of the agencies to promote their programs and services. Like meron tayo yung Know What the Government is Doing online program hosted by, of course, our very active PIC of Cagayan, si Oliver Bakay. Then, marami pa rin tayong mga online programs. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang tipon-tipan. Hindi tayo nag-stop operation.
Yes, okay.
Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang tipon-tipan wherein ito yung pinakamabentang service ng PIA in the past year.
Yes.
Kasi alam mo sir, sa
in the past decades, the show itself.
I benefited from that.
Yes, I mean kasi isa sa mga pinakamabentang service ng PIA last time in the past decade sir ay yung technical assistance on how to write news writing and etc. Pero napansin namin in 2020 yung tipon-tipan sa PIA ang pinaka dinagsa. Kasi of course online lahat ng programs natin yan. So sa first quarter pa lang, like ngayon, sa first quarter pa lang fully booked na yung schedule natin. So dyan natin makikita na
mag-book na kayo.
Magpa-schedule. So dyan natin makikita na dahil nag-shift tayo online, yung ating mga partners din ay ano din sila?
Shift din sila.
Nag-shift din sila. Hindi na yung face-to-face
gaya kayo,
and hindi yung face-to-face na ini-interview natin sila. So, more on Zoom, more on online platforms talaga.
Ma'am Angely, this leads me to this question of the social media providing all this information to the general public now because it's accessible. And we have the Philippine Information Agency. Can I coin the word competition? How is PIA dealing with this multifarious information from social media? And here you are, one of the tenets of governance and providing information. How do you cope with, can I say competition?
Where's your corner? Where's your corner? Okay. Competition.
It's very negative to say na we compete with the
Yeah,
media.
yeah,
No,
okay.
we do not compete with any media entity, Sir
Compliment.
Benji and
Compliment.
Sir Ray, but we complement with
Yes.
the effort on giving accurate and timely information to the public. Kasi when we complement with our partner, ang pangit naman pong pakinggan yon. And one more thing, sir, tama kayo, ang dami-daming mga information available online, but the question is, how do we know that this information are accurate, are timely, or these are from legit sources talaga?
sources.
Diyan po pumapasok yung pagkakaroon natin ng we should be careful dahil baka po tayo din ang nagpa-proliferate ng misinformation,
Yes.
nagkalat ngayon ng fake news. So, isa yan sa pinaka-iniiwasan ng PIA, yung mai-share natin yung mga fake news, yung mga misinformation. Kaya we also have systems, Sir Ray, na ini-implement. Kailangan before we share and we send this to our media partners, kailangan we have meron tayong mga ginawang hakbang para malaman kung ito ba ay fake news. Like, meron tayong mga features sa Facebook to know kung ito ay mga fake news. Mga ganun po. So, when it comes naman, sir, doon sa sinasabi nyo, it's not siguro a competition, doon sa complementation of efforts, we are proud to say po na there are some private media na kami ang source nila. Alam niyo, sir, pag mababasa mo na source, PIA, ang ganda-ganda sa pakiramdam.
Maski in Northern Forum, si Kamu source.
Yes, thank you. And alam mo, yun ang isa sa mga joys namin, yung makita na PIA ang source ng mga media. And ibig lamang pong sabihin nun na we are efficient in our mandate. So, ang ganda-ganda po. And of course, ang information from PIA, kahit sino po pwedeng mag-share, pwede niyang gamitin as long as i-retain lang naman nila yung credit kasi yun lang naman ang gusto natin. So, just like sa Northern Forum, ang ganda-ganda ng partnership natin.
Okay, this is one thing I long to ask from the PIA officials. No, it has been an issue for so long, and I think I would like to ask Angely about this. PIA being the information arm of the government. Okay, point blank, how do you manage politicians as far as information is concerned?
Okay, sir. PIA is now 35 years old. And since then, PIA remains to be apolitical.
Okay.
We do not have a preference when it comes to politicians. We do not have political parties.
You don't have any political color.
We do not have political color, but we have agency branding color. You know that. Okay. We do not have political color, sir. But kung sino, ito naman po ang pamantayan ng PIA. Kung sino yung nakaupo, kung sino yung nasa administration, yon ang sinusuportahan namin. But not the person who occupies that position, but the programs and services na ibinibigay niya sa mga tao. Yun yung sinusuportahan natin. So, we provide equal exposure. For example, this week, ito po ang strategy ng PIA. For example, this week, ang fini-feature natin ang congressman ng ganitong district, ng ganyang district. And then, the next week, we ensure na i-feature din natin ang governor. And then, of course, the board members and the likes. And then, the next week, feature din natin ang local chief executives.
Okay.
Not only one governor, sir. Lahat ng governors, feature natin. So, if you happen to visit PIA regional page, ang dami pong mga social media cards natin promoting not the governor of that certain province, but the programs he implements for his constituents.
Okay.
Ganon po tayo.
Okay. Right.
Sige.
Point lang pa rin ito.
Okay.
You are supporting the services of the government and not necessarily the individual. But these are individuals, and sometimes there are instances wherein parang mga tao lang sila. No? The question is, was there a time naman na kahit paano parang nasita kayo or parang nagtampo yung mga the individuals na sa inyo? How do you manage that?
Yes, sometimes not from that certain individuals, kundi yung sa mga staff na lang nila, mga ganun po. Of course po, ayaw natin magkaroon ng basher, ng kaaway. Kaya nga po sinasabi ko kanina yung strategy natin, we make sure na there should be equal opportunities,
Yes,
equal
yes.
exposure, or equal utilization of all the available platforms we have in PIA. Kaya po, yes, sometimes may mga nakaligtaan kami, but considering the manpower of PIA, sir, sa regional office, we are only 13. And kung isama-samahan na natin sa mga provincial offices, we are only 20. So, there are times na hindi namin nako-cover lahat. Or
Aren't you glad you're only 20? Some are only 10. Diba?
Yes, but we are national agency kasi, sir. We are national agency.
Yes,
and,
I understand.
we are only 20. So, very short but lean manpower. And in the Philippines, sir, we have 16 regional offices and the same staffing pattern.
Okay.
Ganun din. Mapalad pa nga kami dito sa Region 2 because we have a number of job order personnel. Yun lang yung nagko-complement sa mga effort. Kaya sometimes talaga may mga activities, lalong-lalo na sa regional line agencies. Doon kami medyo nagkakaroon ng mga pagkukulang sa kanila because we have almost 60 or 70 national agencies and every day ang dami nilang mga activities. So kung may isa kami na hindi na talaga na cover, talaga ang sakit-sakit din sa loob namin. So
I will cut you. To add to what Angela is saying, no, na yun nga na basically undermanned sila. Then with all the number of line agencies in the region, you know, there was even a time when I was with the PIA, there was a time na problema kami kung saan ba kami pupunta. So at times, ito personal opinion ito, sometimes we have to prioritize na kung ano yung pupuntahan namin. There was even a time na kung nagsimula ang isang programa ng 9 o'clock and then matatapos siya ng 11 at 11 ang susunod naman na activity ulit, habol na lang kami doon. So parang, wow, parang mga artista, yung mga commitment mo, yung grabe, ang patong-patong. So at times, it really takes the head of office to manage all of this scheduling. Okay, nalimutan mo yung sabihin mo? Okay, go. Ano yung sabihin mo kanina?
Okay, we're speaking about prioritizing, no?
Yes, sir.
Which of these groups shall be foremost, considering the fact that we have lean resources? Now, of course, we always underscore the fact that in democracy, everybody should be heard.
Yes.
So, how would you balance the thing, everybody should be heard, to the issue of political neutrality? How do you manage this? Considering that you're the, can I say, mouthpiece of government, how would you deal with the other side?
Well, I think sinabi na Angel
yes, sir, kagaya ng sabi natin kanina.
Because I have another question
okay,
after
sir.
that.
Sige.
We serve kung sino yung nasa administration. And of course din, kino-consider din natin, sir, yung mga nasa opposition,
Yes.
but they are active in their respective groups or organizations. Sir, remember, isa sa mga nasabi natin kanina na clients ng DSWD are still media sector and CSO, civil society organizations.
Yes.
So, if ever po, yung mga, sorry for the word, yung mga natalo na politicians, but they are active in their own organizations. Siyempre
Yes.
po, itong mga natalong politicians na ito, hindi sila tumitigil na tumulong din. Nagkataon lang
In
na
fairness,
hindi pa nila time.
oo.
Yes, nagkataon lang na natalo sila and hindi pa nila time to serve the people. But they did not stop there. Yung time na they lose the election. May mga mangilan-ngilan kasi, sir, or marami pa siguro na they focus on their respective organizations. Sa mga CSOs naman sila. So, we still cater to them, Sir Ray. We still promote their activities. After all, it's still the people who benefit from this.
Okay, you have one or two questions more before we go to the other portion of this. Very interesting ito, yung last person, last portion, interesting ito. Okay, go.
Kulang
Pay.
ang 45 minutes.
Hindi ko, 30 na lang ito. 30 na lang ito.
Ma'am
Okay.
Angely, this leads me now to the question of, on a personal note,
Wow!
of course,
Yan ang gusto ko sa'yo.
you're working in the government. How do you balance objectivity and empathy,
Wow.
insofar as your stature being the alter ego of course, the PCCO.
Oo.
So in the regional level, you are the government.
Of course, sir, no, Sir Ray and Sir Benji. For example na lang, when we produce news releases, we should never be subjective. Alam mo
Okay.
yan, Sir
Yes,
Benji,
of
no?
course.
Even if you are in the government or you are in the media sector, when you are preparing for a material, that should be read by many. You should never inject your personal opinion.
Yeah.
You should expose the two sides of the story. So, sa PIA po, kahit nasa government tayo, sir, we still balance our news, we still balance our opinions. Kaya nga po, we are very careful when dealing with politicians, kasi baka ma-brand tayo na tayo ay supporter ni ganito, tayo ay supporter ni ganyan. Kapag tayo ay nagre-release ng material, especially news releases, kaya nga sabi ko kanina, we should not focus on the person, yung program niya talaga. And syempre, kailangan nating banggitin ang pangalan niya dahil kung wala naman siya, wala yung program. So, still sir, we always balance materials that are coming from PIA para hindi tayo ma-labelan na we are one-sided agency, meron tayong pinapaboran. As much as possible, yun ang iniiwasan talaga natin kasi the mere fact na may pinaboran tayong isang politician or isang organization, doon na tayo magkakaroon ng miscommunication, doon na natin masasabi na hindi na tayo yung lead information agency of the government kasi meron na tayong kinikilingan.
Ma'am Angely, point blank, hindi raw kayo media.
Yes, hindi kami talaga media per se, sir. Media.
Okay.
We are national government agency. That's why we sit in various committees, councils in the RDC.
Yes.
Actually, vice chair po tayo sa CODAC under RDC. Sabi ko nga kanina, we are the lead agency or the cluster head sa RTF-LCAC.
Yes.
We are also the lead agency in the RTF COVID task force. So, aside from that, vice chair din tayo ng RPEB under PAPCOM. And of course, member agency po ang PIA sa different councils under RDC. With that, masasabi natin na we do not represent media in that various councils and committees, but we represent PIA as one of the national agencies of the government.
Which is incidentally the information
Arm of the government.
Yeah.
Siguro sir, to correct that, we are not media, but we are the primary public relations or advertising firm of the government. Yun
Yeah.
po. Kung
Now it's clear, huh?
Yes, it's clear. Kung nagsiserve man kami ng mga kung pumupunta man kami ng mga coverages just like the media does or the other media entities do, yan ay part lamang po ng public relations job ng PIA. So, kasi syempre po may mga activities na ini-invite tayo to cover. Yun
Yeah.
kasi ang nasa letter eh.
Yes.
We will invite you to cover and witness the event. So parang media rin po 'yun.
Yeah.
And sinasabi pa doon na may we also invite you to facilitate the press briefing.
Yes,
Media po kasi 'yun.
Oo.
But to make it clear, those are just part of the public relations job of PIA.
Wow. Okay, nasa ko na tayo.
They still have a chance to ask questions?
Yeah, teka. Sige, one more bago tayo pupunta dun. Napaka-interesting na topic mamaya. Go.
Okay, sige. Ma'am Angely, what is the beautiful thing about your work? And what is that is burdensome with your work?
O teka, pumapasok na tayo dun eh. Okay, in fact, mga kaibigan, no,
Okay.
bago sagutin ni Kanya ni Ma'am Angely, sa last few minutes ng show natin is, gusto rin naman natin na magtanong kay Ma'am Angely.
Doon din
Sa mga
napasok.
buhay-buhay, yun. Yun, nagtanong na si kasamang
Okay.
Ray. Yes, Ray, yung tanong mo ulit?
Yun na, ano yung maganda sa sitwasyon mo bilang mouthpiece ng government sa PIA? At ano naman yung you're burdened about it? Ano yung burdensome?
Yung samaan ng loob ka ba yun? Okay.
Okay, sir. Yung pinaka-joyful part of being the lead agency of the government or being the head of the PI is that ang daming networks, ang daming partners. And ito sir, on my personal note, no, bago pa ako naging OIC, wala naman ako masyadong kakilala sa mga various government agencies. Of course, nag-a-attend ako ng meeting, but yung mga ka-meeting mo, they don't know kung sino ka talaga, they don't know kung anong position mo, and they just know na ikaw ay taga-PIA.
Yeah, correct.
Pero kung nung nag-OIC na po ako, of course, lumalawak paunti-unti yung networking ko and collaborations with other agencies. And doon ko na-appreciate na kaakibat pala ng position yung pagdami ng networks, and that is reality.
At pagdami ng problema, ganun.
Yes.
Okay.
Ito sa mga government agencies, they are very supportive of PIA. And I really appreciate din yung mga sumusulat sa amin, thanking us under my leadership. Meron po akong mga nare-receive na ganong letter under my leadership. For the services we have provided with them. So yun po ang isa sa mga joys of being the head of the PIA. At my age, sir, now I am 35. Nung nag-OIC ako is 34 pa lang ako. And at my age, masasabi ko na I'm very young to lead the very dynamic agency of the government.
Okay. That's my next question. You're very, very young. You're only 35, and you now manage as the officer in charge a very, very big, media information organization in the region today. So your boys or your staff are equally young.
Yes.
So is there some frictions or some problems in dealing with them? How do you manage them? What is leadership pala for you?
Yes, I always promote happy leadership. Yung tipong papasok ka sa opisina na napakaganda ng aura mo and you leave the office with the same aura. Yun po ang gustong-gusto kong i-employ sa lahat ng mga kasamahan ko. Yung they don't have any stresses when they're inside the office.
Ay nako, yun ang pag-stress kasi, my God, you cannot work.
Although part of our daily routine is stress, we ensure now we always overcome stress. Knowing that our industry is in information, hindi mo talaga maiiwasan yung stress. But ako sir, during my when the time na nag-start ako as OIC, I always tell my colleagues, sir, na kung meron silang mga personal problems, kung meron silang mga iniinda, health problems or problems with the family, it's better to fix them muna bago sila papasok. You know why, sir?
Okay.
Kasi kahit nandoon naman sila sa opisina, but the totality of their system ay naiwan sa bahay, do you think performing pa rin yung isang employee? Hindi. Unless kung sasabihin mo na you are supportive na, o sige, mag-ano ka muna, you fix your problem at home, and then kung okay ka na, saka ka papasok. Mas maganda yung ganun kaysa i-oblige mo siya na papasok at papasok, wala naman siyang performance. So, yun ang gusto nating i-sabihin sa lahat ng mga kasamahan ko, sir, sa PIA. Actually, ini-implement natin yun, na dapat lahat tayo ay health first before any other priorities. Kasi kung pinabayaan mo yung health mo, sir, hindi ka din makakapagtrabaho ng maayos. So, that is the kind of leadership I want to implement and will always implement to my colleagues.
Okay, before magbigay si Ray ng question, I always ask this question to all my interviewees, and especially if they are young like you. So, from a mere staff of the Philippine Information Agency, the first time you came, I know you are the officer in charge. Of course, things happen. There have been some changes from the normal to the new normal. How do you manage now your time as the officer in charge of PIA, as you being a mother and your as a wife to your husband? Incidentally, the husband is also works frontliner din laging ito sa DSWD. So how do you manage all of these things?
Okay, sir. we cannot deny the fact that works in PIA entails 24/7.
Yeah.
So of course, kahit nasa bahay ka, kailangan magbato ka pa rin ng mga istorya.
Yeah.
But we should not also forget na being a mother also entails 24/7 duty.
Oh.
So, of course,
So may training ka na pala eh. Joke. Okay.
of course, sir, mahirap yun pagsabayin. Pero time management lang and consideration din ng partner mo. My husband is also a frontliner. Pero we ensure na meron pa rin kaming quality time with our one and only daughter. And with us din, may quality time pa rin naman kami. We ensure na kapag kami ay free na sa mga duties namin and functions sa kanya-kanya naming opisina, we bond just like the other normal families, sir. Ayaw naming ipakita sa anak namin na binded na kami doon sa trabaho namin sa pagiging government service, government or public servants. Gusto din namin ipakita sa anak namin na we are also normal families, we are normal couples. And kapag nasa bahay, sir, walang head, walang OIC, or walang taga DSWD. We are all fair when we are inside the house. Yun din ang gustong-gusto ko sa asawa ko na napaka-supportive niya. Day 1 ng pagiging OIC ko, siya yung pinaka number 1 fan ko. Siya ang nag-cheer sa akin. Of course, sir, kapag OIC ka at bigla-bigla kang sinalang sa mas mataas na responsibility, nandoon yung fear.
Okay.
Fear of the unknown.
Yes.
Paano mo ba ililid yung mga kasamahan mo where in fact may most senior pa sa'yo when it comes to work experience. So yun ang fear ko noon. But since nakakaya naman natin, nag 1 year and ano na ba tayo? 1 year and 1 month. I know, 1 year and 2 months na tayo as OIC. So, nakakaya naman natin, sir. And ito, hindi po sa pagmamayabang. During the last praise awards, alam ni Sir Ray to, lahat ng agency, sir, may praise awarding. Ito yung incentive or award na ibinibigay sa agency or empleyado for their performance. So, luckily, sir, we are the second best regional office nationwide.
Wow!
Yes,
Congratulations
sir,
sa staff ng
2020.
PIA.
Yes,
Isahin
to
ko,
all the
si Melly,
PIA.
kay
Ang first, sir, hindi namin matalo-talo yan dahil napakagaling din ang PIA Caraga. Talagang ever since top sila. But being the second best is already something that we should victorious for sa PIA.
Yes.
Kasi ang dami-daming mga regional, we are 16 regional offices and top 2 ang
And you're number 2.
Top 2 ang region.
Again,
So,
congratulations,
again,
PIA.
Yan ay
Region 2.
because of the efforts of all the PIA, of all the men and women of PIA, including job order personnel.
Okay, Ray, your last question.
Yeah, it's not...
Make sure last mo na yan.
Yeah, it's not
Okay,
a question,
sige.
but let me just punctuate with all these pieces of substantive information that you have provided us. On a personal note, I've learned all these things from you, and I'm very sure our viewers were equipped with all these pieces of information. Now let me just punctuate my words by saying that the government, the people are lucky to have a person in the name of Angely, Mercado.
We don't blast
Well, of
siya.
course. No, I'm saying this because I worked with her when I was with
Wow! Oh my
She
God!
was with-
On World TV!
Yeah. She
Okay,
was
sige.
with the SWD.
RIO.
And during all those years when we are
In
busy,
fact, I met this girl sa
when we are all
DSWD.
busy trying to fix the system insofar as identifying the poorest of the poor, she was there with us.
Oo.
Okay, we just call her. You know, all these pieces of
Uy,
information
naiiyak na si Angely.
that we need
Okay.
with PhilHealth are provided by her.
Oo.
So, I must say, PIA was able to get a very responsible and honest, effective and efficient worker in government. So, good luck, and there are still many things that need to be done. And I know from my heart that you're going to make it.
Okay. Before,
Sir,
yeah, go.
Thank you, Sir Rhea. Wala akong binayad sa inyong dalawa to hear those humble words. Actually, yung mga ganong straight from the heart commendation, Sir Ray, hindi ko alam kung saan ko ba ilalagay sa puso ko kasi napakaganda. And I'm just an OIC, Sir Ray. Anytime, pwede na kaming magkaroon ng full-fledged regional director. But rest assured that while I am the OIC, I will double my effort to surpass all our targets and mandates. So, thank you, Sir Ray.
Okay. Ito na yung parang kumbaga sa beauty contest, farewell walk mo. Okay, how do you see now, balik tayo sa COVID, sa pandemic, how do you see now still the flow of information in the next few months ahead sa pandemic?
Ito ang pino-foresee ng lahat. Sana magkaroon na tayo ng vaccine rollout in the next few months, hoping that the third quarter of the year or the second quarter of the year, depende po kasi yan sa negotiation between the government and of course the manufacturers of the vaccines. But our dream, sir, is to have it roll out ASAP, prioritizing the poorest of the poor. Yun po kasi ang ating mga nasa target. And of course, the frontliners and those that are marginalized and vulnerable. So, in the next month, sir, makikita mo na ang PIA ay ganun pa rin, busy pa rin. And if meron na tayong vaccine, asahan nyo na ang PIA ay nandyan sa kasuluk-sulukan ng mga barangay, providing information, giving information regarding the various services and programs of the government that the common public can avail of anytime.
Okay, thank you very much. So there are, ladies and gentlemen, with just brought you the second edition of our Point Blank right here on the page of the Northern Forum-CAGAYAN Valley Facebook. And we would like to say thank you very much kay Angely, our officer in charge ng Philippine Information Agency. And of course, mamaya papaalam si kasama ng Reyna. We'd like to say thank you for viewing. Yes, Ray?
Of course, maraming mga nanonood na kababayan natin sa Kuwait.
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum.
Birthday ni Eloise.
Maraming salamat.
Okay, anyway, happy birthday pala sa kay Ma'am Eloise sa Maborang. Member po siya ng technical working group ng Cagayan History. Kagrupo ko po siya sa Japanese occupation. Anyway, thank you very much. Again, sa mga gusto pong magbigay ng opinion ninyo or whatever, or anybody who you would like to ask to interview on Point Blank, just do send us a message sa page po ng Northern Forum-CAGAYAN Valley. Kasama ko si Ray Gayagoy Ferrer. Ito ang Point Blank!